Causes of World War I by Jose,
Sam,
Joshua.
Abby,
Monse,
Steffi.
So, Main. What's Main? Main stands for the four principal causes of World War I: militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism.
militarism. Militarism denoted a rise in military expenditure, an increase in military and naval forces, and a preference for force as a solution to problems. By the beginning of the 1900s, Germany had proved to be militarily superior to the rest of the European powers, and Britain had the largest navy. Germany began spending her navy, getting to be the second most powerful after Britain's. As a consequence of this race and other factors, European military expenditure between 1900s and 1914 skyrocketed. German defense spending during this period increased by a massive 73%, dwarfing the increases in all other countries. Every major European power, Britain excluded, introduced or increased conscription to expand their armies. And because military power was a measure of national and imperial strength, propaganda helped to allure more men into war. This period also saw significant changes to the quality of military weapons and equipment, as well as their quantity. In summary, influenced by nationalism and advice from military commanders, European governments ramped up military spending, purchasing new weaponry and increasing the size of armies and navies.
alliances. Over time, countries throughout Europe made mutual defense agreements that would pull them into battle. The treaties meant that if one country was attacked, allied countries were bound to defend them. Before 1914, Europe's main powers were divided into two armed camps by a series of alliances. These were the Triple Alliance, composed by Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, and the Triple Entente, formed by Britain, Russia, and France. In the Central Powers, Germany and Austria-Hungary made an alliance to protect themselves from Russia. Then, in 1882, they signed a treaty with Italy to stop it from taking sides with Russia. The Triple Entente was made to counter the increasing threat from Germany. Germany was rival with Britain because of imperialism aims, with France because of Alsace-Lorraine, and with Russia because of territorial discrepancies. Russia joined the Entente in 1907, and due to her desire of controlling the Balkans, she had signed a treaty with Serbia to protect her in case of war. In conclusion, alliances created tension between European powers, which contributed to the already unstable political environment.
The third cause is imperialism. Imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence over other nations through diplomacy or military force. Colonies may have military or geopolitical advantages, but their main purpose is economic. They exist chiefly to profit and enrich the imperial power. European nations competed with each other to amass more colonies. For example, Britain was the greatest empire. Among its colonies were Canada, Egypt, India, and a large part of Africa. Then, between the early 1880s and 1914, Germany and Italy, two rather aggressive and aspiring new powers, appeared on the scene. Certain conflicts explain the tensions created in the world as a result of imperialism. For instance, the conflict in Morocco, a territory with the influence of France, where Germany suddenly interfered. In 1905, Wilhelm II traveled to Morocco, where he delivered a speech supporting the idea of Moroccan independence. Therefore, the French government got angry and considered it as a provocation of war. From this, it is evident that imperialism, country's ambition, and its competence for greater power created tensions that led to World War I.
Another cause of World War I was the growing force of nationalism. Nationalism is a sentiment based on common cultural characteristics that binds a population and often produces a policy of national independence or separatism. In the early 1900s, this nationalism created a fierce competition and rivalry between Europe's powers. These powers were Germany, Austria-Hungary, Great Britain, Russia, Italy, and France. In order to be the greatest of the great nations, the nation would have to be the best at everything, both military and economically. Competition for natural ores and resources was one of the causes for the hatred amongst these nations. Africa had many of these resources that these nations needed in order to run factories and other industries, being rich in natural resources such as rubber, gold, and diamonds. Because of this need for national security and pride, territories and colonies were required. Territorial disputes were one of the main causes of World War I. Eventually, the different nationalities grew to hate one another. In fact, Austria-Hungary wanted to conquer Serbia to gain more territory. However, Serbians rebelled and fought against them. This eventually led to the shooting of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which created a domino effect. The Russians came to help, the Serbians and the other alliances came in for a full-fledged world war.